everyone, I'm Freeds, author of My Burnt Orange. This is my kitchen, and this is my very first video, so I don't know how I'm going to do. As promised, I said I'd make a video on how to cook sadza. Okay, so you know what, we're just going to go right into it. Look, what I've got here is a mixture of the dry mealie meal, which is in Zimbabwe we call it ufu. So I took about a cup, just a teacup, mixed that with water, cold water, about a cup of cold water, and just mixed it up, and going to put that on the stove to heat up. And to this, just to get it to come up to the boil really quickly, I've got about 500 milliliters of boiling water. So I'm going to add that, and the trick is you pretty much add up to the level of, the amount of sadza you like, and I think 500 milliliters will do. If it ends up too thick, you can always add more water. Alright, so you're going to stir and just bring that up to the boil. Ooh. Alright guys, so the porridge, as you can now call it, it's thickened up and it's come to the boil, and I actually had to add an extra 250 mils of water because it was quite thick. So now that it's to the boil, and this is one of the most dangerous parts of making sadza, if you've ever had to make sadza, because it bubbles. What you've got to do is put a lid on it, because you can see it's quite violent, and so put a lid on it and keep it on for about 20 minutes or as long as you like. Some people go for 40 minutes. I find 20 minutes is quite sufficient, and you just allow it to steam and bubble. It's not very high maintenance right now, and in Zimbabwe, this process of bubbling is called quattering. I don't know what it's called anywhere else, but I've learnt over the years the different steps in Shona. So it's quattering. So I'm just leaving this here for 15-20 minutes, and when we come back, we're going to go into the final stage of adding the rest of the dry mealie meal, or ufu, and completing the sadza. So stay tuned. Alright guys, it's been 20 minutes, and you know what? Carefully lift up your lid and be careful of any splashes, but look at how the porridge has formed. You can see that it's been working it, while steaming for the past 20 minutes or so. So what you're going to do is take between half a cup to a cup of the dry ufu. I like to add half a cup at a time, just in case it gets too thick. And depending on how thick you like it, just add the thicker you like it, the more dry mealie meal you add. All right, so here we go. We just pretty much sprinkle it in, and you know what? I've added the whole cup. You just mix it. I remember in the past, when I first started cooking sadza regularly, I found it quite scary. I found it to be a quite scary and daunting process because I was afraid of the lumps, right? And now at this stage, this is where I say, West Africa differs from Southern Africa. In West Africa, this is how we would typically mix, a thick porridge or a fufu or banku. But in Southern Africa, or Zimbabwe in particular, I find they do, this is what they do. I really don't know what difference it makes. I used to think they did this, but it was explained to me that you just mix it, pretty much just mix it. It's almost like whipping some air into it. That's what you do. So I tend to do a combination of both. Yeah, so you know what, I pretty much, this is going to be a little soft, but I like this consistency. Okay, so I'm just going to mix it a bit, make sure there are no lumps in there. You know, some people even do this. You know, it's quite, there's all sorts of different techniques. But you know, at this stage, what I like to do is, you know, to let it steam, you know, keep steaming for as long as you like. You know, some people will let it steam for, you know, half an hour. But, you know, basically, as you get out the plates and, you know, warm up your gravy or relish, you just keep it on. There's no need to turn it off because it's best served straight from the stove. Otherwise, it will harden. Okay, so guys, I think that is it. This is my video on how to make sadza, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.